He is a three-time Grammy Award winner. We are so excited to have you in the house with us today. Wyclef Jean, thanks for joining us, man.
Glad to be here.
All right, for our viewers at home that just saw that promo, Dinner with Friends with Wyclef, it airs tonight on NBCSN on the pregame. How did this come together? How did this event or this evening sort of come to be for you?
Well, everyone who's looking at me saying, why is this guy in yellow? Who is he? They call me the Haitian Jimmy Buffett. I got a call from my friend Jeff, and he had this idea. I'm a big fan of hockey. I got introduced to hockey actually through PK. In Canada, like years ago, as a young Fuji. And somebody was like, yo, man, I'm going on stage, and every time I go there, like, yo, I'm always wearing these football T-shirts. And they come on there like, yo, you need to put this T-shirt on. And I go on, and it's a PK T-shirt. And the
Was this
crowd,
when he was with Montreal, I assume?
Yeah. And the crowd erupts, and I was like, I need to meet this rock star. So that was my introduction. And the idea would be they would come to the house, but straight up, to be real with you, I was like, yo, can I just have the Devils come to my house, because it would be cool. and then the idea went from there to a great idea in Black history coming up, and how we can, the idea of diversity. Yes.
And you have there, I mean, Bryce Salvador was there, right? Blake Bolden, who was a young woman player as well.
Yes, incredible.
I mean, you had Connor Carrick was there as well, right?
Blake Coleman.
Yeah, son Blake Coleman was there. So what's the setup like there? We saw a little bit of a clip there. What's the setup like around the dinner table? And you're playing, you're kind of strumming the guitar.
I mean, you know, my house is a Caribbean vibe, so everything is very cool. Music is all over the house. My wife completely did it over the top. She designed and redesigned and redesigned again. But what I loved about it is, so this conversation of diversity, we really get into it, right? Because as a Black man from a rural community, right, coming from Haiti, growing up in Brooklyn, Marlboro Projects, then moving to Jersey and Newark, the idea of soccer was not in the forefront, right? The idea of hockey was not in the forefront. This is a very expensive sport, right?
Absolutely.
So the whole conversation would be, think about it, like different donors who decide, you know, we're going to help Newark, or we're going to help Canada, we're going to help. We want just to start to put that attention towards diversity, because we feel a lot of these kids can play in the rural areas if they had the means. So
and the opportunity.
And the opportunity. So this is how the conversation unfolded. It was great.
I want to ask you about Blake Bolden, and for any viewers out there that don't know her, she was the first Black player in the National Women's Hockey League. She was a part of this dinner, of this night at your house. What did she have to say, just sort of about her role and what she's seen in the women's game as well, and how it's moved forward?
I mean, Blake is incredible. Blake, a.k.a. superhero.
Okay. Was she like a standout star or something?
If they're like doing a new X-Men, they definitely need Blake in there.
Okay.
What was incredible about Blake was, as a woman, what impressed me the most was that ain't no excuse for the game. At the end of the day, she goes out there and she plays tougher than anyone. And the idea of race, we also talked about that as they engage, because it's always harder for a woman. And it's almost like you see, I said, oh, woman superhero playing hockey, because it's not in the forefront. And she talked about her struggles, which was very important. And like I said, my daughter was there. She's 14. And Blake, just watching that is definitely an inspiration for her.
Yeah, and apparently she was playing the video games, you were saying, at your house, and dominating.
Blake dominated. Yo, you dudes know y'all got crushed. When I tell you she dominated, what happened, right? She kept literally killing everybody on the ice, and her favorite word was like, I don't really play this. And,
I love that.
Looking like, oh. And she's just great,
Oh my gosh, that's a hustler's move right there. I don't really know what I'm doing right now, but I'm gonna crush you guys. For you, you know, now that you've got this hockey fandom, is there a team that you follow particular? Do you just follow PK?
I am a Newark boy, right?
Okay.
So you go through Newark Airport, there's a hologram of Wyclef Jean speaking to you. So hardcore Devils to the
Love
T.
it.
And more so than PK, the entire team. I love PK, he's a rock star. The team is incredible. And everyone who's watching it, I want you to be like another celebrity face, you know, trying to create diversity. Here we go again. No, I actually worked out with the Devils in the locker room. I could be on the ice, bro. I'm
Can you
actually one
skate?
of them. Yeah, I can skate.
Oh, nice.
For sure. You skate?
I do skate. I
Okay,
grew up
I'll go.
playing hockey in Canada.
All
I,
right.
like,
Well, no, here we go. I am not playing no hockey with you, but I will go skating. Don't try to Blake set me up. You see, they're going to set up. It's
See,
coming.
I don't know. You might be faster than me, though.
No,
I haven't skated in a
doubt
while.
that. I doubt
In
that.
a while.
That's the setup right there.
Yeah, that is the setup. You've already.
I don't really play.
Yeah, boom. Next thing you know. You talked about the conversation. A lot of the conversation was about diversity and how maybe we could change things in hockey over time. What was the feeling from the different people in the room? I mean, you had Blake Coleman, I think, grew up in Texas.
Yeah.
And you had Connor Carrick, I think he's from Canada. And you had a bunch of different people there. What was the feeling about ways to kind of push things along and have more opportunity for people of all different backgrounds to play hockey?
I think it was a real conversation. There was nothing fake about the conversation, right? Because the idea of, how many black hockey players do you know?
Yeah.
When you started at a young age, who was the first black hockey player you ever seen?
Yeah.
I think that conversation led to the idea of how we can have more diversity and how we could bring more attention to the game. Because everyone who's actually playing the game now believes, and I'm speaking on behalf of like the Devils and watching everything that I see, the idea of diversity is a must, right?
Yeah.
And within the stadium or the arena, how do we bring more folks in, right? How do we bring more folks in from the rural areas?
Yeah.
So I think that's very important because the more people that come in to see how incredible this sport is, the more incredible it is. I think one of the things to help bring more folks in is the entertainment factor.
For sure.
Who's performing, different
Yeah.
people performing. I think that's always a factor. And then more awareness online. I think more idea of more community leaders embracing the idea of hockey.
Yeah, I like that too. Now, I got a little write-up on this piece. I haven't seen the piece in full. I'm going to have to watch it tonight on NBCSN, but I understand someone took a shot at some freestyle rapping. Care to give us a little teaser? I don't want you to give away too much because people need to watch. But just a teaser on what exactly went down. You don't look impressed. I gotta be
I am. I'm highly impressed. I'm so impressed at the freestyle. It went down. So I ain't going to tell y'all who yet, but there was a play of words, right? Because I was making the comparison of why I'm into hockey so much, right? This is why I'm into hockey. Because as a hip-hop artist, when people hear hip-hop, they just assume one thing. They be like, oh, you a rapper, right? And then I said, yeah, but I read sheet music. I was probably the first rapper to perform at Carnegie Hall with the Philharmonic Orchestra. Then the entire head changed. And it's like,
right.
you read sheet music? So, and I said, yeah, so this is why I'm into hockey. Like, so the idea would be the role of playing with words. So I don't want to mention, because I want y'all to watch.
Okay.
But somebody goes into a freestyle. And the idea is I pick a word, and from the word that I pick, you have to make a rhyme out of it. Something we used to play in the hood.
Okay.
That's
And
a fun game.
it really goes down. If DJ Khaled is watching this, most likely he's going to sign this kid.
Oh, really?
He's going to
What?
sign it. Yeah, he's going to sign one of the
Okay,
Devils.
that's a good tease. That's
the
good
bars
tease
was
for me.
so hot. This dude got bars. It was hot.
I love that.
He's getting animated
You know,
now. I mean, I like it.
I'm going to keep it real with everyone right now. The producer just was like, you should get EJ to play the game. I don't think we want to subject the viewers to
Audience,
EJ
I mean,
trying to rap.
why do we want
We're not going to do it. We're not going to do it. They see you dancing. I think that's
Yeah,
enough,
it's bad enough.
For the
That's bad
viewers
enough.
at home.
Not pretty.
Before we let you go, though, I got to ask you about the Super Bowl halftime show because
Yeah.
Shakira performed. You have a connection with Shakira.
Yes.
What did you think of the show?
The show was incredible. I actually wrote Hips Don't Lie.
Yes.
So when Shaki came on and my voice came on, I wrote a tweet. I made a little spoof out of it. I said, this is why I love America, because even when you're in your house, you laying down and watching the Super Bowl, you still getting paid for your licenses. So I love
That doesn't happen to me.
Yeah, so
No.
let me tell you, I love this Super Bowl. And you see, I see like mixed emotions about
Yeah.
this J-Lo thing. So let me put this thing in perspective.
Okay.
So I'm talking to my boys this morning, and I'm like, yo, man, y'all know we got to be in the gym tomorrow, right? Because we like 50. Did y'all see J-Lo? I said, she's literally standing in midair. And I was thinking that once again, I think as we move forward in the future, I always say like, yo, 50 is the new 20s, 50s is the new 30s.
I say it all the time.
Right? I think that people have to more look at it sort of like that. Everything is within online, right? And I still think it was respectable. I still think the girls did an amazing job.
It was so entertaining.
And it was so entertaining. And, you know, I learned like some real cool moves, man.
Yeah.
You want me to show you a move?
Let's see it.
Yes,
Let's see it. Let's
You
see
gotta
it.
Get up, you got it.
Oh, I got to do it too?
Pop, pop,
Yeah, come
I don't
on.
know.
pop. There you go, pop. There you pop.
Hey.
Shakira, pop. Pop. There you go. More weights.
You
More
know what,
weights.
you
More
two
weights.
look
More
better
weights.
than
There
I
you
thought you
go.
would be.
This is not going well.
Oh, we love it. All right,
Thank
you
you.
can see the feature tonight.
Oh, boy.
on-
Well, there goes another career down the tubes.
You'll be fine. You'll recover
Hey,
fine.
thank you so much.
Thank you,
Yeah,
guys.
thanks
awesome.
for coming in. You can see the feature tonight
Yeah,
on
again, I mean, come on, we
NBCSN
gotta- come on, we
here
gotta
in the
hit.
United States.
Hit.
Wyclef Jean,
There you go.
everybody.